Well, TIH is a Section 8 company, not-for-profit, set up by IIT Bombay under a national mission on interdisciplinary cyber-physical systems, an initiative of Government of India, Department of Science and Technology. This is a big mission involving 3,600 crores of deployment in developing technologies on the frontier of cyber-physical systems. What the vision is that instead of catching up with the West in terms of technology development, we ourselves would like to be at the frontier of these technologies. So 25 such hubs were created all across the country, and IIT Bombay having one, with emphasis on Internet of Things as the technology vertical. When it comes to research and innovation in an academic setting, you have basic research, or also called a foundational research, for which the real product may or may not happen, and sometimes these innovations stay at the lab level only. But we are very clear that any research that we get involved with is translational in nature, which means at the end of it, there is a product, either a software or a hardware, that can be commercialized and serves the nation, at large. We have a set of experts with us. These experts come from industry, they come from academia, they come from policymakers, and we conduct roundtable conferences to brainstorm and come up with the top 3 or 4 problem statements in that particular domain. So the domains like agriculture, very important to the country, domains like healthcare, industrial IoT, and for example, education. So we look at the big problems that need to be solved at the intersection of IoT and these domains. These are the problems we focus on. And then we can either go through the lab to market route, or we can go through the startup route, where a startup is already working in that area, and we support the startup to get it to TRL 7 stage, which basically coming out of the valley of the death and be ready to commercialize. If you see the innovation landscape or innovation timeline, it is called idea to market. That's the whole landscape. We divide that into 2 parts. One is idea to lab, and second is lab to market. Idea to lab is something we don't get involved with. There are other schemes of the government that foster innovation, that foster support in idea to lab situation. We get involved with lab to market, which is where some of the startups or some of the great innovations die because of a variety of reasons, but one of that is nobody is really willing to fund that journey from TRL 4 to TRL 7, and that's what we do. So if you ask me, a typical gestation period for us is between 2 to 3 years, within which the product should be ready for commercialization. That indeed is a challenging part of it, and that indeed is a skill that one has to learn every day to manage. In fact, as a CEO, significant part of my time goes in stakeholder management and making sure that everybody is heard, everybody's thoughts ideas are incorporated, and basically aligning them most of the time to achieve the final goal of translational research. So the short answer is yes, it is difficult, but the other part is it is enjoyable too, and gives a great sense of satisfaction. Mind you, one of the things that people are excited about in TIH is that all that we do has a national level impact, and very few people get a chance to support that. And that is that gives all of us a sense of pride in being a part of that. When we work with the industry partners, As you know, something I did not talk about before. We do want to work with industry partners where they bring in their use cases and we put in technical resources, and also we bring in the faculty members who are at the cutting edge, who are doing the cutting edge research to provide those solutions, or if I may call it technology development. This conversation happens upfront with the industry partner that this is something very new. While we endeavor to end up with a product, there are chances we may fail. And let us find out how the arrangement will work if it fails or does not happen in a given set of time. So it's about communicating with the industry upfront, right in the beginning, because we are doing the kind of research where the outcomes are usually not certain. Oh yeah, I mean, national security, anything that we can do is for the country in terms of using technology to provide higher security levels. We are eager and we are willing and we are ready to work on that. And we also have got opportunities to work on such projects. As far as talent is concerned, that's the core of TI. Rest of the things you can buy, but talent you need to harbor. And we are constantly trying to make sure that the brains from IIT Bombay, after doing their MTech and PhD, find TIH as their destination, and we can give them enough excitement to do the work rather than they going elsewhere and doing the same thing. So, and we have had a few IIT Bombay postgraduates and PhD already hired, and some of them have shown willingness to join us once their PhD is over. So that's a good news and something that we are consciously working on. Because we are a part, or we are an extension of the government department, so that interaction is an ongoing discussion with them, and it's actually easy to do that discussion with them because they are our stakeholders and we are their delivery partner. The answer is every day throws a new challenge in terms of regulatory compliances, because some of the technologies are moving at the next speed, and the policies are not able to catch up with that. And privacy policy, data protection policy, all these something which is a discussion of the day. So yeah, I mean, we are a part of these conversations, and the challenge is that even if we are able to solve today's problem, tomorrow will throw up another regulatory challenge. So we accept it as an ongoing battle with creation of more and more refined policies around security, data, and IP. The industry use cases that we get, and we see a significant interest of the non-banking finance companies, the banks, the large IT companies to seek our help in terms of AI-based solutions. I mean, industrial IoT along with AI is the next game changer that we are going to see. The short answer is yes, it's a very exciting field, and the type of problem statements that come to us, we've never heard of them before, and trying to solve these problems is something that is fascinating. I'll give you one problem that we are solving for a non-banking finance corporation. So for this company, the product is to give loans. That's the product. Now, the current process involves right from getting the lead of a borrower right up to disbursement of the amount. Now, this process can take 3 to 4 days with the given manual process or semi-automatic process. Now, we are enabling this with artificial intelligence, and with that, everything, the human touch, the endeavor is that the human touch over a period of time will disappear. AI will be able to get your CIBIL score, will be able to get your employment data, will be able to get Aadhaar, PAN, everything. Will also do your social media search, will also do your location search, will also do your other non-professional activities, the inputs that go in deciding how much loan to be given at what interest rate. And this, if it is done, loan amounts can be churned out in less than an hour. So once that happens, two things: the productivity goes up exponentially, and like what we have been talking about is the jobs that are at risk because of AI, we will start seeing in terms of. The best part of AI-based solution is that it is consistent. If we are human-based decision making, it can depend on how good a mood you are in on that day. And in fact, scanning the documents, deciphering the meanings and so on and so forth. So that becomes very easy with AI. So that's what we are doing. It will be a game changer, I suppose, in non-banking finance companies or in banks as well. That I would say is our DNA. We are a part of the premier engineering institute of the country. That is what we breathe and live every day. So any project, anything that we work on is first the ethical aspect of that is ensured. And we have decent governance structure. And we have something called a hub governing board. The hub governing board takes a look at all the important projects that we work on, kind of signs off before we start working on it. So like I said, it's something which we have to, which we are IIT Bombay. That's all we do. We do ethical stuff. So on the manufacturing sector, I would say more than AI, I would talk about IoT, which is what the smart factories or Industry 4.0 we talk about. When you talk about IoT-based solution, AI becomes a part of that, where the decisions are enabled by AI. We still have a long way to go. MSME is what India's real backbone is in terms of manufacturing. And while we talk about IoT-enabled solutions for large factories, until we solve MSME's problems, we are not going to get there. So when we have to do that, there are two things we have to deal with. One is the change management stuff. Second is making it affordable. So that's what we are currently working on. Is our focus is, for example, in agriculture, we are not solving problem like, can we increase the farm yield? Can we reduce the wastage? Can we avoid the disease? Can we reduce the pesticide spray? Because the problem we have defined is, can we double the income of a poor farmer? When you start with that approach, then whatever you do is addressing that, right? Similarly, in IoT and AI, we are looking at MSME as the target, which means you have to make affordable affordable solution and create that change management within these small and medium-sized companies to do that. So we as a hub get in where typically commercial companies hesitate to go in. And that is what the government's outlook is, that, we use the funds to create an impact and be in an area where other companies do not find very attractive. And that's why the whole idea of not profit-oriented, but sustainability-oriented. I mean, AI is an enabler, right? AI is not a product. AI is not something we consume. AI is something we use to make things quicker, faster, better, and, in a very, I would say, consistent manner. So golden sectors are any sectors that, we have to get to brick and mortar because that's what we consume, right? I would say agri-tech and health tech, medical devices, these are the sectors where there are a lot of investments. And people, either the startups or the companies who are working in that space, you are going to see significant uptake in terms of this sector growth. That's what.